Alright my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today I want to talk about the Nvidia bros that, you know guys, I really tried to just be a positive. I've really just tried to be positive when it comes to the whole PC thing with Nvidia versus AMD type stuff like that. And for some reason, my friends, even when I go out and I buy the GPUs that you guys say I should buy, it's never enough. It's literally never enough for you guys. And I don't get that, man. So I buy a 4080 Super, I show you guys some stuff, I give you guys my first impressions of it and stuff, and I mean, cause like, let me be completely freaking honest, dude. It is not that big of a freaking upgrade over a 7900 XT. Like it's just not, and it's not even really that big of an upgrade over a 4070 Super. I don't understand your guys' logic, period. Like the PC space absolutely drives everybody nuts, and I honestly think it's because of that. When I'm on Reddit or when I'm looking up any kind of stuff, dude, there's just always this overwhelming, literally overwhelming, like bashing when it comes to AMD. And it doesn't make any sense to me because I've bought multiple AMD cards, I've bought multiple Nvidia GPUs, and the biggest difference is one of them is slightly better at ray tracing. And I say slightly better because most of the time you don't end up using it anyways. Now I've been playing around with this 4080 Super today. I've tested some games like Dying Light 2. I just downloaded Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm gonna start playing a little bit of that. But I've been playing a bunch of these games, and to tell you guys the truth, I mean, like, the ray tracing performance of the 4080 Super, it is definitely better than anything that I've tried yet, and it does give me a pretty dang good experience, and I'm pretty happy with that. But there are games that still won't even hit 60 frames a second with it on. I mean, if you're not using, you know, frame generation on something like Cyberpunk at 4K, man, it just doesn't get the job done. I don't even think it does 1440p at like 60 FPS natively. I think I still have to use like DLSS or something for that. I think when I was trying it at 4K, because there's zero bottleneck at 4K. I've even watched other people with the 7950X 3D and other benchmarks to kind of, you know, just gauge, you know, see like, oh, what kind of performance am I getting in relative to, you know, somebody else. And there's not really that big of a difference, my friends. And it is a little bit disappointing to an extent, you know, when you listen to the way people overhype the Nvidia product, it really does get a little bit disappointing. But then when you turn on frame generation and DLSS and all of that stuff, and then you get into a playable experience that's above 60 frames per second, that kind of melts away. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I mean, obviously you have to use, and I've said that before and I'm saying it now, you have to utilize those technologies if you want to use ray tracing. Ray tracing is still very heavy. Even the almighty Nvidia cards still struggle to do that unless you're using, you know, those features. And it's true. So it doesn't matter what CPU I have. It really doesn't matter. Especially if I'm playing at 4K, it doesn't matter. I'm not bottlenecked at 4K. I am slightly bottlenecked at, you know, 1440p, but it's really not that bad. I've been playing some stuff at 1440p. I wanted to gauge some of that. Most of my early first impressions for the 4080 Super were based off 4K, because when you spend $1,200 on a GPU, 4K is what you're buying a 4080 for. I'm sorry, you are not going out to spend $1,200. I mean, the regular 4080, $1,200. This one here is $999, but I got this one here at $1099 for and almost paid $1,200. It was a little bit less than $1,200 for a 4080 Super, the gigabyte version. And you know, I think it's funny, man. Like, I absolutely think it's funny. Me personally, I'm not disappointed with my 4080 Super. I actually like this card a lot. I like my 4070 Super. I think these are both very good cards, but I do think that the price is a bit extreme for what you're getting for them. And so now you guys are telling me that, yeah, dude, you're bottlenecked. So now you got to go spend another $500 to $1,000 to make sure so you can actually use your $1,200 GPU. That sounds crazy to anybody out there on the internet that is getting into PC gaming. I recommend mid-range. I do. I think chasing this higher end stuff is only going to leave you feeling. It's only going to leave you feeling a little bit freaking. You're going to feel upset, man. You're going to feel like, why the heck did I spend all this money if I'm still not able to achieve this? And if I'm, you know, because most people aren't going to go out. Most people that are rocking like AM5 are people that probably bought their systems on AM5. I bought my system originally on AM4. So I have been using AM4 since then. And I'm probably going to use AM4 for a little while longer. I think my performance that I'm getting with my 5900X is on point. And if there is a game that is super bottlenecked with the 5900X and 4080 Super, then I will wait to play that game until I upgrade to the AM5 platform. It's really not that complicated, my friends. And to come to my comment section and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't get to talk about it, dude, I probably bought more GPUs than a lot of people in the last couple of years. I think that I have given myself a pretty wide range of the different types of GPUs from different entry points for these GPUs. I think I've earned my spot among, you know, being able to actually talk about PC stuff. I've bought my way into it, and I've experienced it, man. I've experienced some aggravating stuff. I've experienced some truly mind-blowing things on the PC platform. So, yeah, I feel like I have enough knowledge now to talk about it. And when we start talking about bottlenecks, let's just be honest. Instead of saying it's a bottleneck, let's just say, look, the 4080 Super could definitely use a better CPU at 1080p and 1440p to get the max out of it. I wouldn't really even consider it being a bottleneck until I'm about 50%, my friends. Like at 50%, then you can kind of tell a little bit of stuttering's going on. But we're not there, man. We're like in the 70s and the 80s, and that just depends, you know, usually a couple settings tweaks like I did with the, gosh dang it, Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport, all I had to do was put it in 5K, and all my issues went away. Like, it runs at 99% GPU utilization, and it stays above 60 frames a second with full ray tracing and everything on. Oh, and I turned off DLSS. Yeah, I think I turned off DLSS, and that gave me a pretty stable experience after that. When it comes to Forza Horizon Forbidden West, all I did with that was, I think I just turned off like frame generation or something and just let it run natively, and it fixed it. It just runs better without frame generation. Like, you can turn it on, but you don't necessarily need it. There are other games that I would turn on frame generation and it would make it work. Like, on Cyberpunk 2077, I was getting 180 frames a second at 1080p at ultra settings. So I mean, like, it could go a little bit higher, obviously, if I had a stronger CPU, but not enough to where it's like gonna make a major difference, my friends. So yeah, dude, I don't understand your guys' logic. I really don't. All you gotta do is say, hey man, you need a better CPU. And I agree. I do agree with that. I just am not willing to go out and spend that much money on it yet until the new CPUs from AMD come out. And then I'll decide where I want to go, because I really like having a 12-core CPU. It really does make a difference in content creation and all of that stuff. It really does. If I was just a gamer, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I just need a 7800X 3D. But I'm really researching this because I do want to buy a good CPU that's going to last me a lot longer than, you know, a generation. You guys are trying to tell me that my 5900X, the second to the top, of that stack of CPUs is no good, and I'm not gonna sit here and listen to that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I get the PC stuff moves fast, but not that fast. I mean, yeah, I mean the software, bro. The software hasn't even caught up to any of the hardware we have to date. So let's give that a rest, man. I'm gonna keep making the same videos I'm making, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. If you don't like it and you just want to be over there on Hardware Unboxed and everywhere else, be my guest. You guys can go over there. Like I said, AMD doesn't send me free stuff. Nvidia doesn't send me free stuff. Nobody sends me free stuff, and I've already spent my budget this year for any upgrades buying the cameras. So I think those were a much better investment for the rest of this year than upgrading my CPU when I'm still getting really good playable frame rates. I'm not experiencing a terrible stutter in my games. Ever since I got the ever since I like figured out, you know, some of the settings with the Nvidia stuff, I haven't had those issues anymore. The only issue I get now is when I turn on my PC, it defaults to like my far screen over there, and then both of these stay black until I turn on the TV and then they come on. That's the only issue I'm having with the Nvidia cards, and that is the same with the 4070 Super. For some reason, it doesn't like the multiple displays. It just kind of acts a little weird, but that's it. That's the only thing that I've had lately. That's the only issue. That's why I don't even bring it up, because it's like I just got to turn on my TV and then it comes on. It doesn't happen on the AMD cards. They all just come on. Both of my screens come on. It stays defaulted to the screen I like it to stay at. It's just Nvidia, dude. Like some of their stuff is a little bit wonky, man, and nobody will ever admit that. They just want to pretend that Nvidia is like the greatest thing ever, and it is good. It is good. I'm satisfied. I'm super happy with my 4080 Super. I'm super happy with the 4070 Super. But I am going to sell that. I'm not going to just let money sit on the shelf anymore. I want to sell that to pay for, you know, to put towards some of the stuff that I've bought in recently. I sold 2 of the AMD cards, the 7600 XT and the 7800 XT. I need to downsize, man, because I spend all this money and then this stuff just sits on the shelf, and I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. The views dried up for all that stuff pretty quickly. 4070 Super views dried up way faster than I expected they were going to, so I had to do something drastic and buy something bigger. I love the mid-range space. I do. But I need to spend some time in the higher end range. I still am planning, you know, possibly doing like a 5070 and an 8800 XT. Like, I'm definitely still planning on that, because I do feel like the mid range is absolutely perfect. And if both of those cards deliver on the experience that I'm getting with a 4080 Super, I think I'll definitely be fine with that. So, and I do kind of wish that I could get to that point with the 5900X and kind of see how that's going to perform before making the switch over to AM5. I don't know, man. I got some plans for the channel, and I just, you know, I'm bringing you guys along for the ride, because this is all stuff that I am actually putting a lot of work into trying to figure out and learn. And yeah, dude, it's kind of cool. I think that this information and the stuff that I make on this channel is far more valuable than any of the dudes with the free stuff doing benchmarks, man. I definitely think the work I'm doing here is very important, and it's helping me learn, and it's teaching you along the way, you know, showing you guys what not to do or what to do, or, you know, any of that stuff. And everything, like everything that I've bought to date has been good. I mean, all of the stuff I bought, you know, I mean, if I would have taken a little bit more time with the 4070 when I bought that, things probably would have been different. I probably would have been satisfied with that, but I was still in my anti-Nvidia freaking mindset right then, but I'm no longer in that mindset. I think the AMD and Nvidia both offer a compelling experience to buy and own their products. I do like moving along with technology, but at the same time, I actually would like to try to get my money's worth out of some of this stuff, because I am selling these things at a loss, and that sucks. So, all right, my friends, if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, so we could help the channel grow. That would be awesome, so that I can start getting free stuff, so that I can just start making videos like with top-end equipment and not have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore. It would be awesome. I'm just joking. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.